50 years ago, Jackie Robinson broke baseball's color barrier to become the first African American to play in the major leagues.
Special Edition's Russ McQuaid talks with a man who stood by Robinson's side, and he also explores the history of Negro League baseball here in Indianapolis.
Hooray, hooray, the time has really come. Hooray, hooray, the time has really come. Cleveland got Larry Doby, Brooklyn's got Jackie Robinson.
Well, you know, Jackie Robinson was like Joe Louis in the black community.
Now, Jackie was bigger than the race thing and bigger than baseball. He saw just a social injustice.
The game of the week, I was watching that and Jackie was playing, and I said, Jackie, one day I would like to play in the major, you know, because of Jackie. You know, I said, with Jackie.
In my mind, it's hard for me to imagine anybody who could have done this so completely and so lastingly as Jackie. So I think he was the right man at the right place.
The right man was Jack Roosevelt Robinson. The right place was Brooklyn's Ebbets Field in 1947. And baseball's color line was about to be broken.
I don't often say break because Jackie didn't break anything. He really kind of healed something.
Former major leaguer and Indiana native Carl Erskine played 9 years at Jackie Robinson's side during the heydays of the Brooklyn Dodgers in the 1940s and 50s.
Jackie was the centerpiece, and he really brought the Dodgers from just an also-ran, win-now-and-then team to a contending team for a whole decade while he played.
It was Robinson's style of heads-up play honed in the Negro Leagues and his personal stability that brought Jackie to the attention of baseball visionary Branch Rickey, who signed Robinson to play for the Dodgers and opened baseball's door to black ball players.
Jackie purified the game. He did the thing that baseball needed to have done to show this is the perfect affirmative action. The opportunity is given, it's all yours. Nobody can help you.
Robinson had his friends in baseball. There were enemies too, like those who sent death threats if Jackie played in Cincinnati. But Erskine says we shouldn't read racism into every taunt Robinson suffered.
A lot of what happened with Jackie was competitive, of a competitive nature within the context of how baseball's played. I think Jackie was reasonably well accepted in baseball. And when somebody threw the black cat, you gotta weigh that. Was that all racist, or was this just some way, okay, this guy's black and, you know, here's a way to get on him big time good. I never saw Jackie in a fist fight. I never saw him provoke a fight. I never saw him fight back in defense, physically. He'd fight back by going to the plate, by stealing bases and so on.
When Branch Rickey signed Jackie Robinson, Robinson asked, "Mr. Rickey, do you want a ball player who's afraid to fight back?" Rickey answered, "I want a ball player with guts enough not to fight back." In Jackie Robinson, baseball found that man.
But he won a lot more than he lost. And he helped the rest of us to not only to understand his plight, but to see America grow up.
And now it's almost 50 years to the day since Jackie Robinson stepped onto the field and breached that chasm between the Negro Leagues and the American Leagues. When Robinson made his debut at Ebbets Field in 1947, he carried with him the hopes and dreams of every Negro League ball player who ever toiled for a team like the Homestead Grays, the Pittsburgh Crawfords, or the Indianapolis ABCs and Clowns.
We were a center for Negro League baseball.
Negro League baseball in Indiana began in the early 1900s with the formation of the Indianapolis ABCs, sponsored by a tavern at 15th and Mill Streets. And the players had to scramble to survive and play the game they loved.
They would just throw some money into a hat. Winner would take 60%, loser would take 40%.
And by 1915, the ABCs were winners under the leadership of manager C.I. Taylor, who took them to the Negro League Championship, and Oscar Charleston, an East Side native they called the Hoosier Comet.
Oscar Charleston was one of the greatest players in the history of baseball. That's from eyewitness accounts of people who have seen 70 years of ball playing, people who've seen Willie Mays play, seen Hank Aaron play, have seen Babe Ruth play. Oscar was one of the greatest of all time.
And the first Negro League player to be elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1976. Eventually, the ABCs folded, but were replaced by the Indianapolis Clowns, who played some of their games at Victory Field, later to be called Busch Stadium.
They could have played in the majors. You know, they weren't any sandlot ball players. They knew the game. You know, they knew what a curveball was. They knew what a slider was. You know, they had terrific speed on the bases.
After 1947, in the fading days of the Negro Leagues, future Major League home run king Henry Aaron signed his first contract and hit his first professional home run for the Indianapolis Clowns. Soon the Clowns turned to baseball burlesque, becoming the Harlem Globetrotters of the diamond, barnstorming America to survive. And in 1966, pitching the late, great, ageless Satchel Paige.
From April until September, we were playing every day. I think we had off day maybe once in a while. Sometimes we played 2 games a day, especially on the weekends. We had guys that could, real good baseball player, but we had guys that were baseball player plus entertainers. At that time, playing with the Clowns had to be for love. It couldn't be for money because it wasn't that much money, you know.
In the beginning, they played for love and ended up making America a better place. For Special Edition, I'm Russ McQuaid.